Thank you for listening. We got Mike Bender, PGA National PGA Teacher of the Year for 2009, one of the best instructors ever. Mr. Bender, you with us, sir?
I am. How are you?
Very well.
Hi, Mike.
Good morning to you, sir. How's it going?
It's going great.
Hey, what part of the world are you in, Mike?
I'm down in Orlando, so we just dodged the big hurricane, so we all feeling pretty good about that.
So everything's okay. I mean, you've probably got a stack of batteries and water bottles in your house now, but are you okay? Everything's good?
Yeah, everything's good. So we'll just save that for the next one because living here, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, no kidding, buddy. Well, we're glad you're safe, and we're really honored that you're on the show. Welcome, and again, congratulations for being named the National PGA Teacher of the Year. Quite an honor. Both Mike and I are PGA professionals and consider ourselves instructors, but when you get to your level, man, it's pretty impressive. So thank you for what you do for golf.
Oh, it's just, they told George Archer one time, that played the tour for many years. They said, George, what are you going to do when you retire? And he said, I've been retired my whole life. I've been playing golf. So I kind of feel that way as well because I do something I really like to do, and it's a lot of fun working with all different calibers of people, and been very blessed to have been able to win that award. That was great.
Mike, joining us, Mike Bender, PGA National Teacher of the Year, and he's got this great new teaching training aid, the Benderstik, which we'll talk about in a bit. Everybody we've talked with in the caliber where you are as instructors, they all say the same thing. It's not work. They just do it because they love it. That seems to be the common thread across is they do it because they love it. So how great is it to do what you love, huh?
I know. And it's fun because, when you can hit a golf ball good, and you just when people experience that, it's just
yeah, nothing better, huh? Are you there?
Oh, I think we lost
We
him.
might have lost. We'll get a call back from him. Hurricane's going through there, man. Anything can happen.
I guess. Yeah, I'm sure he'll call back.
Do you want to take a quick break?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We'll clear that out.
We lost him, but Mike Bender, PGA National PGA Teacher of the Year, he's going to call right back. But
he's coming right on right now.
We'll just put him right.
We'll put him right back on. Hang on. Da, 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 da. Hold music.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Don't be sorry. You got a hurricane about a few hundred miles from you, so you're doing okay. Hey, before we jump in and talk about Benderstik and things like that and training aids and especially some of your teaching philosophy, can you tell the listeners a little bit about you, more on a personal side? Like, we know you're in Orlando, but how you got in the business and where you hail from and family, if you'd like to share that at all.
Yeah, well, I started out like everybody that's in the business side as a player and, trying to get on the PGA Tour. And I went to a small state college up in Northern California called Stanislaus State. And I had some good success there. We won the national championship every year as a team that I was on the team. And then I won it individually a couple times. So I had a pretty good college career. So I got out of there and then turned pro and started playing on the mini tours and went over to Asia and so forth. And finally, after 6 years of doing that, I did get my PGA Tour card, and I played the tour for 3 years, which, it turns out now to be invaluable experience in working with some of the better players like Jonathan Bird and Zach Johnson and those guys. So, so I feel really good about having the fact that I've kind of been on both sides of the fence as a player and now teaching the game. And but in 1990, I lost my card and I didn't get it back, and I started teaching to kind of supplement my income while I worked on my game. And I got busier and busier and spent less and less time practicing and had a family going. So I kind of decided that I would, take this avenue for the rest of my career. And it's been a great decision, and still get to be around the tour guys and still get to play some section events and things like that. So, it's been really good.
So, Mike, you mentioned Stanislaus. Is it Stanislaus State?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you didn't happen to play with Jim DeLobby, or Jim DeLobby didn't play with you, did he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Billy and I are really good friends with Jim.
We work with
Jim. We work with him.
Okay, well, you have to tell him I said hello. I was a junior when he came on the team.
What a small world. Isn't it incredible?
Billy and I just looked at each other as soon as you said Stanislaus State, because you don't hear that every day.
Yeah. It's,
we looked at each other and we're like, I wonder if he played with Jim.
I thought it was a special at the Outback or something. I really did.
It's funny because people don't realize, but there's only one college in the United States that's won more national championships at golf, and that was Houston.
Isn't that amazing?
And so we've won. Stanislaus has won 12 NCAA national championships in golf. So that's pretty amazing for a small school.
Well, it's kind of neat. It sounds, there's the old saying, those that do, those that don't teach. You can do both. So how cool is that, man? You're a player and a teacher. Hey, we understand that you're a big believer in golf training aids as an instructor, obviously with your new aid here. But before we discuss that, tell us why you think instructors should use training aids while they teach. I read that you believe that they should. Can you tell us why?
Well, here's the thing. The thing is, like I always tell people, so you wouldn't take your car to an auto mechanic that had no tools. And so if we're going to try to fix golf swings and make somebody swing better, we need some tools. We need some tools to help us, because otherwise we just have our voice. And our voice is, although we give good information and people understand it and everything, being able to implement it's another key thing. I mean, having the knowledge is great, but and people, the other thing that I think the reason why some training aids, not all of them, but a lot of them are very good, is because when the pro isn't around, if you set a training aid up the proper way, or you're using it for feedback, what we call negative feedback, if you use it in that manner, then you don't have to have a pro standing there, and every swing that you make, you're actually improving your golf swing and grooving new muscle memory, because it's providing the necessary feedback as if the pro were standing there telling you that's right or that isn't right.
Joining us here on Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy and ESPN Radio and the Golf Talk Radio Network is Mike Bender. He's the 2009 National PGA Teacher of the Year. Recent training out there is Benderstik. You can check it out on the internet. It's Bender and then STIK.com is the website. Mike, before you invented the Benderstik, what other training aids were you using, or have you invented any other training aids?
Yeah, I invented a training aid called the Insider, which is appropriately named because so many people have come down over the top and sliced the ball, and so that was really my first training aid they invented that worked really and still does work really, really well. Although the Benderstik now is simpler to use and easier to set up than that. And then I also invented a thing called the Right On Line Putting Track, which works on all three aspects of putting, which is your technique, reading greens, and speed control. So, yeah, and my biggest thing that I came up with years ago, it's called the Megza Perfect Practice Equipment, and that's kind of like a Nautilus style piece of equipment where you have settings and you go in and you get into it and set up, and it provides feedback for you on every shot that you hit. So it's you hit off of a mat onto the range, but it's like I said, it's kind of like Nautilus style equipment, and it really, that thing, I actually invented the prototype in my backyard for my own golf swing, and when I saw that I had such good results, and then I started teaching and seeing people struggle, I ended up inventing that for people to use, and now we have a membership, and people come and use it all the time, and it's amazing the results that we're getting.
Yeah, I had to. Sorry, Bill. No, I had to ask you, Mike. It's funny when you said making stuff in your backyard. I don't know if it synced with Billy, but it really reminds me of Jim DeLobby does the same.
It must be taught at the engineer school.
I know Jim does the same thing. I mean, I just have this vision. It's funny. How long does it take? I mean, you've invented a lot of these things. I mean, does it take you around the same amount of time? You produce these in your backyard, and then you decide I'm going to try to mass produce this. I mean, what's the whole, not the whole process, but how long is the process from the start to the finish of getting these things to market?
Like the Megza equipment was a 12-year project, but
wow.
But some of these other ones aren't so big. But it's interesting. I have an engineer in town that's a friend of mine that kind of has his own shop, and he's kind of an inventor type guy too. So if I come up with a good idea, I'll come in, tell him what I want to do, and he'll build it, and then I'll go back and say, no, it's not quite right, and then we'll just tweak it back and forth till it works. And if it works really good, and it's something I think the general public or other teachers would like to use, then I usually, carry it one more step and come out with it so that everybody can take advantage of it.
Joining us, Mike Bender, PGA professional, National PGA Teacher of the Year in 2009, one of the top instructors in the world. You're not bored in your life, are you, Mike? It seems like you're doing something all the time, and I guess that's the best minds keep busy. So you're not watching a lot of TV. You're not a couch potato. Is that fair to say? You don't just.
Yeah. It's kind of like I played a tournament yesterday and the day before. It's the first time I played one in 2 years, and it's hard to. when you're doing the thing that I like, I mean, there's a lot of variety in what I get to do, working with different players and having different academies around and doing the stuff with the training aids and seminars and things like that. So, so it really keeps, variety is the spice of life, and it's kind of the spice to my job too. So
absolutely, man, couldn't agree more. Let me ask you a quick question. We're going to talk all about the bender stick here, but does practice make perfect, sir?
Well, no. As the old saying is, it's perfect practice, and I don't like the word perfect because as human beings, it's pretty hard to be an iron Byram machine when it comes to hitting a golf ball. But practice makes permanent. That is for sure.
Absolutely.
And what we're after, and what most people should be after on a driving range, is quality, not quantity. And so I see lots of people on the driving ranges practicing, hitting lots of balls, but to me, they're just getting exercise because they're not using any kind of feedback. And if they would set up a practice station, then they could get a lot out of that time. That half hour or hour of practice session. Yeah,
it's actually. I mean, could have said it better. And of course, I was leading the witness a little bit there. I also know that as a teacher that everybody strives for a consistent swing, and I tease them. I say, well, you could be consistently bad, but I know they're looking for a consistent swing that strikes the ball, acceptable. What makes a good swing consistent?
Well, I'll tell you what. In my opinion, Ben Hogan had a great saying. He said, to be an accomplished fader of the ball, one must first know how to draw it.
So
I think that people that are wanting to get better at golf need to hit the golf ball from the inside to where they can, because not that's just it in itself, but when you come at the ball from the proper angle, then you can develop maximum speed, and you can use your hands in a manner that is what you need for good technique in the golf swing. So, but I see most people, aiming right and swinging over the top and coming into the ball on the wrong angle, and that prevents them from really ever getting as good as they can at golf and enjoying, being able to hit it out there really far and being more consistent.
Like that feeling you said, there's nothing better than the feeling of that solid shot. I mean, it's hard to explain that.
So, Mike, when you were kind enough to send Billy and I a couple bender sticks, and when they came to the house, I mean, my kids got a hold of them first, and they thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and they came up with all the ideas of what they think it was all about and what it's for. But can you describe to us what is the bender stick, and how did you come up with the idea to design the bender stick?
Well, really, the idea kind of stemmed out of that Megza Perfect Practice equipment that I'm talking about, because that's very unportable. And not everybody can afford it, and not everybody has a facility to go to where they can use it. So what we decided was, if anytime, most training aids that you buy fix one or two things in your golf swing, and the bender stick is something that can fix many things based on where you set it up. And so the nice part about it is it's very adjustable. It goes in your golf bag. You can stick it in the ground. There's a base for it if you're actually hitting indoors, like in a basement or off of a mat in the backyard or something. Or, like I said, you can just stick it in your golf bag and extend it out. And based on where you put it, you can really fix just about any kind of problem, from moving your head around to coming over the top to extension in your swing, all kinds of things.
And I got to tell you,
it is the coolest thing, by the way. I love it.
Billy and I have had, I don't know how many teachers on, that have training aids, and sometimes we get these training aids set to us, and there's really no directions. There's nothing. And so we sit there and we try to figure out. It's very comical. We try to figure out, like, okay, what is this really for? But with yours, what was so cool, and I got to give you real props on this. Like I said, my kids had opened it. Of course, they didn't play the DVD, but I see the DVD, so I popped that in the Xbox, and I was watching that last night, and I'm watching it this morning, and I just love the way you laid out everything. It's so simple to just click and go, oh yeah, this is what I think, or this is what I've always wanted to know, a drill on how to fix this or how to fix that, and you got it laid out and all organized in your DVD. That comes with the bender stick. I mean, the thing's awesome.
Yeah, I think, the thing about golf is it doesn't have to be complicated for people to get better. And if you, it's kind of like, building a jigsaw puzzle. If you dump all the pieces out on the ground or on the table and you turn them up and you look at the finished picture and then you put the pieces in. And, people need to take a direction if they want to get better at golf, instead of trying this and trying that and jumping around to all different ideas and everything. If they just take one direction,
right,
and then they get a little feedback out on the range, and they get some practice going that way, some good quality time, then then they move on and they can just keep building that swing and making it better and better, and their potential basically becomes unlimited depending on how good they want to get.
Joining us is the Mike Bender, PGA National PGA Teacher of the Year back in 2009. He's one of the top instructors. Busy guy. He's an inventor. He's a player. He's got it all. Let me ask you. It seems like we deal with this every day, Mike. Old habits, and it seems like you work hard, but students have a hard time changing or breaking old habits. I don't like to use the word bad habits, but old habits. Can the Benderstik help get rid of those habits?
Well, it can, and the key is what does it take to break a habit? And most people would just say, well, I got to hit a lot of balls. But really, what people don't understand is that in order to break a habit quickly, you need to exaggerate a lot. Okay,
like your fade to hook, like you mentioned with Hogan, from your slice to hook, right?
Well, like here's the thing: like if you can imagine a spring, and that represents your normal swing. Well, if I wanted to bend the spring halfway over, and let's say that's the perfect swing or the desired swing, if I do that and I let go, letting go would be going from the practice range to the first tee. So if I practice properly, the exact positions and the movement that I want, and I go to the first tee, the spring just snaps right back into the old habit. And that's what frustrates people, because they go, man, I'm practicing, but I still seem to do the same stuff. But if they would go to the range and they would bend that spring all the way over as far as it could possibly go, which would represent the exaggeration of what they're trying to achieve, then when they go to the golf course, it's not going to snap all the way back anymore. It's going to come back more towards the middle, which is where we want to be. So exaggeration is critical, and then that feedback, which is, and we talk about feedback. What that means is if I take the club and I'm taking it back too upright, let's say, and I put that bender stick or some sort of feedback in the way, if they take it back, they'll bump into it. But if they take it back more around their body, then they don't hit it. So therefore, you have that feedback. And so if you set it up in an exaggerated manner and then you practice it, you're now you're going to get somewhere, and it's going to start lasting.
Well, I think I heard you say, Mike, that all levels of players can benefit from this. I know you work with tour players day in and day out. Average player, the weekend player, the senior player, the beginner, they all can benefit from the Benderstik. I mean, obviously, it sounds like they can. Is it made for everybody?
Well, this is what I'd say. It's only made for anybody that wants to get better.
Ooh, nice. Which is nobody, right?
Right. So if you don't want to get better, then you don't need this. But if you want to get better and you want to improve, remember the old definition of insanity, right? Doing things as I always do and expect different results. But if I want to get better and I need to change something, you need the feedback, and there's no easier piece of equipment than this. And so it definitely is something that everyone can help everyone.
And as Mike, our Mike over here mentioned earlier, I haven't seen the DVD yet because I didn't get one yet, but I will. But he did, and we were talking off air.
I'm hoarding it.
We were talking off air how user friendly it was and how totally it makes sense. So that's another kudos to you, because you got this training aid, but you explain it so clearly because there's so many different aspects of what you could be working on that it helps. So it makes it very clear. So. Awesome, and just an awesome thing that you've done, Mike. So you're helping golf, everywhere, because of this amazing mind of yours. Are you working on something right now that is there another thing in your garage that you're tinkering with? You don't have to tell us what it is, but are the tools flying?
Actually, there is one thing that I'm working right now on some things in chipping, because I see so many people that have trouble chipping off of tight lies, and they yip their chips and all this kind of stuff. So I do have probably that one more thing I'm going to come out with. I think that's going to really help people with their short game. So
wow,
but yeah,
pretty exciting. I say this is the biggest compliment. Anybody in this business that's successful wears many hats, and it seems like you have a complete hat rack going on at your place, and that's awesome. You're in every aspect of this business, and your passion is there. You still love teaching? You still love as much as?
It's the best. I mean, I enjoyed it. I was thinking out there playing. I was playing in the tournament last few days, and I was just thinking, I'm kind of in a way I love playing again, but I'm glad, I'm actually glad that part of my career is over with, because made me realize how much I do enjoy working with people and helping them with their game.
Well,
awesome.
The golf world's a better place. Because is there anything you'd want to add that we didn't cover, Mike Bender? Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we get your contact information and how to put the Benderstick in their hands?
I appreciate you guys doing what you do for golf and being and having me on. And I mean, it sounds like kind of like a sales ad for the Benderstick, which I hope people realize that it's a tool. Again,
right.
It's just a tool, and it's a versatile one. It's something that's really easy, and that's what we're all about. We're all about making people better, and we're going to do whatever we can to help them do that in the easiest way and the quickest way possible. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk about it.
Well, it's been our pleasure, Mike Bender. And one of these days, our paths are going to cross. You keep it safe in Orlando. Welcome back on the show anytime. Can't wait to hear about your chipper. I just can't wait to hear about it. And contact information is simply thebenderstik.com. Is that BENDERSTIK.com? Because I've been there a couple times. Great site. So
yeah,
yep,
really cool.
Yep. And then if they forget that, just go MikeBender.com, and there's a link on there as well.
Yeah. Well, congratulations,
thank you, Mike.
and thank you for everything you do in the world of golf. And congratulations to you, man. You should be very proud.
Thanks again.
Right,
Take care, you guys.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, Mike Bender, 2009 National PGA Teacher of the Year. Check out the Benderstik. It's BENDERSTIK.com. And you guys are definitely going to want to check it out. Very easy training aid, really cool, great DVD accompanies it. We got to take 2 breaks in a row.
Is this like the world's record of never going to a break?
Yeah, we got to take 2 breaks in a row, and we're going to go right to national. We're out of time. So Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy right here on ESPN Radio. Foreplay, phone number 805-595-3776. It'll be about 10 minutes. 805-595-3776 if you want to win a golf package or a chance to win a golf package at the Avila Village Inn in beautiful Avila Beach. We'll be right back.